Good morning, friends. Rajni here from Sashakt Empowering Lives. So, today's video is on something called rigid patterns. So, I keep getting this, not complaint actually, but this concern from parents, from quite a lot of parents in my online classes. And there are a couple of groups that I run, and I give advice there to parents who are seeking answers. And a lot of times this question has come up, so I thought that it's probably not only people asking for answers there and in the online classes, but this is something which is going to be of value to one and all. So I decided to do a little thing on rigid patterns. Now, basically, what is rigidity to routine or a rigid pattern? Basically, what it means is that the child gets he gets accustomed to a particular way of being, and then will not like any kind of change there whatsoever. No change at all. So if you try to change it, the child throws a fit, there's a tantrum, will not like it. Now here's my little thing on this. The one big thing, along with academics and along with everything else that we have to teach our children, that one big thing is self regulation, is the ability to control yourself even when you're getting anxious. So we know, because of the condition called autism, any kind of change is going to make them super anxious. But here's my point to you, dear. Can we ensure that our children will not have to face any changes whatsoever in life? Can you or me or anybody here give me the guarantee that no, we will compartmentalize everything to such an extent that the child will not have to face any changes? Is it even possible? The answer is no. Yeah. So today, if when we are around, when we are young and healthy and capable in our bodies and physically capable, and we can, teach the child ways of self regulation. If at this time we are not going to teach them self regulation, then when they are grown up and we are old and we don't have that effort in our body to be able to handle it, and imagine if it is not handled until then, what happens? That's a given. It is a given that the child will have a problem when there is a change, if the child has a diagnosis of autism. But what we need to do is to teach them that not every way of reacting is fine. Yeah, so they have to be okay, they have to understand that they can get, it is okay, and this learning will start as early as possible. So I'll just share with you my example. My kid was very very young, and I think he was 4 or 5, and that's the time I figured out that there were massive rigidities to routines, and to non-functional routines, things that didn't have a consequence. It didn't matter, but to him they did matter. So we used to go home from a particular flyover. He was, I think, 5, and going by that flyover meant it saved me almost like 2.5 kilometers of distance. So I would always take that flyover. So I did not realize that somewhere it became a rigid pattern with him, because every time I'm taking the same flyover. One fine day, there was a board there that said work in progress. So because of that board, we couldn't take the flyover. There was a diversion made that go from underneath, which also meant that we were going to have to travel the extra distance. But then it was a mandatory requirement at that time. The road was broken, and he threw a fit that I will only take this route. That was the day I realized that I need to teach my son. Intuitively, I realized, like, that time, if I would have gone to an expert, like, mostly what happened was, when I would approach somebody, when my Jay was very young, this like about a decade back, now he's 17, when he was 5 6, 4 5 6, and they would say, don't change their routine, they will get upset. And we would have our children grow up with that kind of thought, that don't change their routine. But then, me being the non-conformist, that who will want to experiment and then agree. And I always thought, because when we would hear stuff like that, then you will say, no, 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 let's not piss the kid off. Let's not give him difficulty. But the point is, it is so much easier to give him difficulty in a controlled environment. My house, my circumstances, like that laboratory where I can conduct this atomic reaction, because it will not go out of hand, because I'm in control. Whereas when he grows up, and if this kind of atomic reaction happens outside, you cannot control it. So the point here I'm trying to say is, that was the day when I said, now onwards, I'm going to make sure that he's comfortable with change. So one day I would go on the flyover, irrespective if it is, I mean, not irrespective if it is working, because obviously if it is closed, it's closed. But when it's fine and everybody's going, still I would, at the cost that I'm going to have to travel extra, I would go on the flyover. Another day I will not go on the flyover. And he would shout, flyover, flyover, flyover. And I would say, no, Mama decides, and it's okay. It is okay. That's fine. Breathe. Let's breathe. Very good. And then I would give him some of the other reinforcers and say, Jay, you listen to Mama, I give you this. So that is one point that I want to tell you all, which is what I told my dear Sri Devi yesterday from Singapore. Always have stuff in your bag. Yeah, some or the other reinforcers. So it's not that, when the fire is on, that you start looking for water. No, you need to have reinforcers. Please don't give them all the reinforcers at the same time. Right now it is a lockdown. I know you cannot go out and purchase, but the first opportune moment you get, pick up stuff that the kid will like and don't give. Okay, keep them for opportune moment. Keep them in your bag, keep them with you when you feel the kid is completely out of place. So it's like, if I want to change the setting of my house and shift my sofa from, let's say, place A to place B. Now this is a controlled environment. Okay, my house is controlled environment for me. So it's like my laboratory reaction. It's not in the open. It's not going to give me embarrassment. If there's lots of noise, I can close the doors. I'm still comfortable. These are the places where we will teach them it is okay for things to be changed. It is fine. So please make sure that you, on a daily routine basis, you make certain changes so that they learn to cope up with change. Yeah, please don't buy that theory that don't change, the kid will panic. Let him panic at this time. We can handle it. We can tell him that we are by his side. You can give the kid a hug. You can, when he's in the thickest of his tantrum, you have to just leave him. You have to leave him and you have to be to a side and say, okay, you do your thing. You just simply ignore it at that moment. Make sure the child doesn't hurt himself, but ignore it. When the child is tired and coming down and you say, that's very nice, sitting down, very good. All the while not compromising with shifting of the furniture back or whatever that you have done, not compromising on that. You are not shifting it at any cost. Okay, so that the child gets comfortable with changes in the pattern, in the routine. The more your child will get comfortable with changes, the better it is going to be. Like this incidents that I'm sharing with you, when he was 4 or 5 and it was absolutely uncontrollable in the car, and he threw himself on the back seat of the car and he's like this and all over the place, saying, no, flyover, flyover, flyover. And that day I actually couldn't go up the flyover because the road was closed. But thereafter I started doing it as a matter of practice. I was by his side. I will not scold him. I will have toys. When he's in the thick of his tantrum, I will leave him. When he's tired of it, then I'll say, Mera bacha, very nice sitting, excellent, it is okay. We can breathe. See what Mama has. If you will breathe 5 times, Mama give you this. Okay, breathe. Slowly, slowly he learned. So give him water, give him some toy, something. Then clapping, so nice. Then go to Papa and say, पता है आज इसने रोया भी नहीं, आज इतना अच्छा बच्चा हुआ. So he's also happy that, wow, this is nice. They are praising me. Slowly, slowly, slowly. That was age 5. Okay, 4 or 5. Now he's 17. I'm telling you about this incident which happened just about a month ago. Before, maybe 2 months before the lockdown, when we didn't have any of this care. Tanaji movie was there. So one fine day, he was in school. It was a Saturday. It was an extra class. And I called him up. So we had planned for the movie Tanaji. And he wanted to see it in 3D. Father was busy. So I took both the boys, because Saturday school off. And I also wasn't working that day. So both the boys, as in, I said, I will take both the boys and go for the movie. So he was at his school. So I called him and I said that I will come to your school and I'll pick you up and we'll go together, okay, to watch the movie. And he said, fine. So like Jay is independent and travels all by himself to the school and all. So with my younger one, I went to his school. We picked him up. We went to the mall. Now think about it. He's all set in his head to watch the movie in 3D Tanaji. We have gone there with everything. That was my mistake, or whatever. I had not booked the tickets in advance. We went there and they said, Kal Tanaji utar gayi. That means it was not there anymore. And yesterday was the last day when the movie was there. So it wasn't there anymore. And I don't know, in my head, I'm thinking, how's he going to take that change? He wanted to watch it and he's been saying it for a week. And he wanted to watch it. He's been telling me, वो चश्मा लगा के देखना है, 3D में देखना है. So he said, चलो कोई नहीं मम्मी, घूम लेते हैं, घर जाके हॉटस्टार पे देख लूँगा. 3D तो नहीं है, पर चलेगा. And that's when I realized the importance of helping him cope up with changes. When I've been doing this throughout more than a decade, that we've been making the changes, suddenly like we'll say, okay, like in my head I know, okay, I know it is a weekly off for the ice cream shop. So I would tell him, चलो आइसक्रीम खाने जाएंगे, fully knowing what I'm calling for because there's a weekly off, okay, and I got reinforcers. That's why I say laboratory situation is the best situation because you're prepared, so you don't have the emotional charge, you don't have stuff coming out of your eyes कि हाय भगवान ये क्या कर दिया मेरे साथ. Yeah, you got reinforcers in your bag, you're not caught unawares. That's the best way to deal with it, okay. So you put the kid in the car and you say let's go have a ice cream, fully knowing the shop is closed, today is weekly off. So you know what's going to come. So you go there, you stop and you say, oh no, the shop is closed. There goes tantrum all over the place. So you get him in the car, you let him settle down, you're sitting. So you're clinically dealing with helping him accept change. So when he's a little tired, then you got water bottle also because you know that you come for a exercise proper. And then you say, wow, that's nice keeping quiet. And you say, since it's closed, we can't do anything. Let's breathe. Let's take it easy. We will come back tomorrow and we will have it, ice cream. And then you say, okay, tell me which flavor. So that was my bit of structuring. So I had the menu card also because I knew I would need it. So I'm showing him which one you would want. Which one? This one? Okay, this one? This one. So I've clicked the pictures of whatever was there on their pamphlet. I say, you decide which one. Today's Tuesday. We will come back on Wednesday. We will have this ice cream. And then after, so what I figured out was a tantrum which was for like 1 hour, 50 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. It went down to 5-7 minutes and further down to a time by age 16 and a half, 17, like 2-3 months ago. Now May, Jay is going to be 17. So about 2-3 months ago, so 16 years and 9 months maybe, to a level where he says, it's okay, no problem. I will watch on Hotstar for something that he came prepared for 3 days. And that is the saving grace today when the lockdown is there and he was all booked. We had booked tickets for him. We had booked tickets for us to go to Dubai, that got cancelled. We had booked tickets for him to go to Kunur and it was very difficult for him to take it. And every day he's seeing the count and he's saying it will go down, it will go down, it will go. Eventually he's come to the realization he can't go to Kunur this year. So he has used his self-regulation techniques which he has learned over the years to say it is okay, I will go in 2021. And we celebrated that day. Okay, saying this that it is so, it's such a matured way in which you have dealt with it. And the one point I want to tell everyone is, if now you start teaching them self-regulation and acceptance to change, when you are no longer there in their lives, that's the time it is going to help them. So, even more than academics, teaching your children self-regulation and getting okay with change is needed. So start now. On that note, thank you so much. Have a pleasant day. Have a safe lockdown. I hate to say that. But yes, and may this corona nonsense just rid us of itself soonest possible. May all kids win. Bye-bye.